Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Caffeinated Librarians. The gang is all here minus Amanda, but she will be back soon. And what are we talking about today?
Soon.
That's what they say about a lot of the people that go missing in The Sopranos.
The Backsoon.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about Home Alone.
Home Alone. The rambunctious child who gets left behind by his awful, terrible, neglectful parents. So, we talked about Polar Express and we talked about the mental illness aspect of Polar Express. Let's talk about the abuse that is heavily displayed in Home Alone.
I don't think there's any abuse.
They were just
confused
because that stupid neighbor kid had to get involved.
Yeah, it's all Murphy's fault.
Though I will say the parents kind of goofed up by not yelling at Is that John Lithgow as the uncle?
No.
He sounds like him.
Yeah, I don't know who the actor is.
But yeah,
it's
you
not
know,
what you did, you little
jerk. No,
Yeah.
They should have taken him aside and been like, you cannot talk to a child like that.
Yeah.
What a rude person.
Cheapskate. He's also a cheapskate as well.
I distinctly remember leaving the theater from that movie with my parents, and we all loved it. And that's the first thing my dad said. I swear, if anyone talked to my kid like that in front of me, I'd smack them right in the face.
Oh, yeah, no. Whenever we watch it, my dad says, the same thing verbatim.
Yeah. And they're all so mean to him. I was mean to my sister, but I never, was that mean. They're really...
You weren't Buzz?
No.
To your sister?
That's just too far.
And Kevin was kind of a little peckerwood, but he wasn't that bad that he deserved that kind of,
No.
Kevin's far lower key than you remember, I feel like. Yeah. He's sort of just oh, okay.
He's the younger sibling of... Was it 4?
Buzz, the sister.
Yeah. There's another brother. There's his other sister. And then I think it's Kevin. So with probably 3 to 4 older siblings, you're kind of lost in the shuffle of everything. So you're going to try and get the attention that is not given. And by doing that, you're going to act out in some way.
Also, my biggest pet peeve with this movie. They ordered, 12 pizzas? Mm-hmm. And all the cheese how many cheese pizzas did they order? And all the cheese pizza was gone, by the time he got into the kitchen? And then, what other pizzas did they order? I just, there's mostly kids there, right? So you're not going to order anchovies and olives. You know what I mean? You're not going to order 8 anchovy and olive pies.
I mean, unless they have
anchovies now. Yeah. God,
they're really very good. They get a bad rep.
Anchovies are delicious.
Unless they have sophisticated palates.
Yeah, I'm if you're going away the next day, and you're going to order 12 pies, half of them are going to be cheese.
Yeah.
You know? Come on.
Yeah.
Just to
And then Buzz shoving, I'm sorry. I can't get over it, man.
No, it's fine.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to work out some math here. Just to let me see if I can do this. Continue talking and I'll figure this out what I'm trying to do.
Also, what on earth does Kevin's father and mother do for a living?
I don't know.
Because
it's never said.
Chicago, maybe they got some ties in somewhere. They got some connections.
Well, they don't live in Chicago proper. They're out
in an
suburb.
even more expensive part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think the house is that big of a deal.
For that time period, for the 90s,
it's not.
It's a big house.
It's a
that
big
house. Is
house.
probably a couple $1 million.
Big is all relative.
Right now.
That's all relative.
You've been to my house, Simona, that I live in now.
It's all relative.
Small. Compared to the
relative.
McAllister house?
I don't think the house is that big of a deal. I think you're exaggerating it. I'm just messing with you.
I get the vibe they're lawyers.
I'm just messing with you because I just love your face right now. You're
lawyers, huh?
Yeah.
That house is gorgeous.
It was the 90s, an offshoot of the 80s. Houses were easier to buy back then.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just messing with you.
They still had to have pretty good jobs.
No, that house is gorgeous. I'm just messing with you because I just love your face right now. Your face was gold.
I think my favorite characters of the movie is Harry and Marv.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So we didn't get into all that. So not only is Kevin McAllister left and abandoned by his family, but then...
Besieged by the criminal underworld.
That is Harry and Marv.
Yes. And they are not just your typical
They're the wet bandits.
burglars. They are the wet bandits, and they will
It's so stupid.
ruin you.
You know what I love about that movie? And I'm sorry, Joe, I didn't mean to.
Oh no, you're good.
It's when you like think back to a time when people weren't as easily reachable. Like I love it says, did you call? I got their answering machine. Did you call? Oh, they left.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there because I remember a time, pre-cell phone. Like I didn't get my first cell phone. It was actually my mom's cell phone. We borrowed it until I was in like high school, and it was one of those prepaid flip phones. But I always love looking back at times where it's like, can you reach her? No, I left a message. I have to wait. It's like now we don't think about it because you can either, that part kind
Good
of.
point.
To be honest, I don't know how everyone pre like 1990 didn't just have crippling anxiety.
Yeah.
There were payphones. Like there were a lot of payphones.
But you gotta bank on them being home. Like,
Yeah.
But I also think at a certain point, like I think there was a lot more freedom with like, especially like because I have an older brother and an older sister. And like listening to a lot of people from like their generation who grew up in the 80s and the 90s, there was a lot more like freedom with certain things. I think certain things were a lot more lax. So like even if you couldn't get all your parents, like I'm sure most people like you would have found a way. Like I remember
You would have definitely, if you couldn't reach your parents, you could reach a neighbor.
Yeah.
I still just wild to me.
So yeah, it seems odd because now it's like there's cell phones everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. This
But-
movie cannot be made now.
No.
No.
You know, because they
No.
would just text Kevin and say, "Hey, did we leave you at home?" And
Yeah.
Kevin would be like, "Yeah, you guys."
Just for some like foundational content here. When it came out, Home Alone made $477 million worldwide,
Wow.
which is in itself a pretty solid number, but adjusted for today's inflation, it's $1,055 million, which means
Wow.
Those are endgame numbers.
It makes
no,
me
it's
weep
not an endgame number.
that like
It's
No,
like less than
Still,
half of an
it's
endgame
still
number.
an
It's still
ins-
huge.
yeah.
Endgame made over $2 billion.
Almost made $3 billion.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But like, oh god, like this movie, which is just a mid-budget like family comedy,
Yeah.
making a billy,
Yeah.
and now it's just like
And
these
the movie,
movie like this wouldn't even get a theatrical release.
No.
Right, yeah.
But the movie also too, when it was like first being made, almost didn't get made. Period.
Oh, here we go. Why?
Why? Because they were over budget. They were short staffed. Like they didn't have a full staff, and most of their sets were made on the fly.
It's
Katie coming in with the
yeah,
knowledge.
working with kids tends to get very pricey because
That's
you
why I
can't film a
remember
lot in one
Right.
day.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a dark piece of history with Home Alone?
So, what?
Yeah.
Do I really want to know?
John Hughes dialed in an old friend, John Candy, to help him out, and gave him $200 to film his scenes in like a week. John Candy did it, and they were gonna have a conversation about what his back end would be, and the movie went on to make insane amounts of money. And John Hughes never ever called back John Candy.
Oh
Yo,
no!
John, come on.
That kind of tracks.
Some
for
dirty
John
business,
Hughes.
yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
John Candy apparently was pretty much pissed off about it to the end of his life. Like,
can't
I mean,
blame
I
him.
don't blame
Yeah.
him for
Come
that.
on.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, he was doing a guy a favor.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, wow.
Wow.
and arguably the second best character in the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's John Candy. You can't really.
Who's the first best?
It's a toss-up between Mom and the old man with the shovel.
Oh,
Old
Marley.
man with the shovel.
I love the old man with the shovel.
Old man Marley.
Did anyone else get just like raging goosebumps when he finishes talking with the old man and he goes to prepare for war and that Carol of the Bells is playing
Oh,
as
yeah,
he's
man.
walking?
Yeah.
Now
Like-
see,
That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
this always bothered me as a child, and to a degree now it still kind of gets me. But like, this is really two movies. You know, on one hand you have a very heartwarming Christmas film about what happens when a child is left home alone, and on the other hand you have a totally wacky slapstick comedy And I like both halves, but part of me is always like, do these fit together? And I guess they do, because I do like the movie. It's great, you know. I watch it probably every year, but...
Yeah, but there's just, at some point, it cheats and it gets away with it.
Yeah.
In that, if you drop an iron on someone's head, they're gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah. A paint can in the face is probably...
But yeah, no, I'm going to be... The Three Stooges shtick is my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah.
Give me that. Give me that all day.
I love
Depends
it.
where you drop it from. What if it's not a really like?
Well, he dropped it from the top of like
A laundry chute.
bench.
Yeah, have you ever held a paint can? They're heavy.
Yeah. If that
They
hits
are
you in the head-
solid
That
things.
would easily bash your nose in for
Yeah,
sure.
there should have been a lot more blood.
Yeah.
Okay, the one scene where I think Kevin is genuinely evil is the nail through the foot. That's just
God.
awful.
Tetanus.
That's body horror.
Yeah.
Daniel Stern selling that scream.
You know, you want to hear something interesting?
Yes.
So apparently Daniel Stern is a really big arachnophobe. So when Kevin puts the tarantula on his face, that's not acting. That's a real, genuine fear scream, and he could only do that take that one time.
He nailed it.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He did not disappoint in that take.
No.
I like that. But, you know, my only quarrel with the old man, like, you live next door to them, like, or across the street, wherever he lives. You live close enough to know that, I mean, like, don't you notice stuff is going on? Like, what do you, like, this kid is at midnight mass by himself, or, you know, nighttime mass by himself. What are you doing? Like, be like, are you okay?
It's a different. I think there's a difference, and it goes back like a lot of people. Like I said, my brother and sister's generation. It was different. I think kids were talking about like we used to like hang out by ourselves. Like I think there wasn't necessarily this like high level of maybe paranoia around kids being by themselves.
There wasn't the same level of terrifying that your kids were going to
Yeah.
get kidnapped
But-
and sex
Yeah.
trafficked.
But
Right. But there's
on
and also
Christmas Eve, what kid is rolling up to mass alone?
Someone who's
He's like-
very devout.
Isn't he like 8?
and
Yeah,
wants
he's
to
8 years
talk to
old.
God.
Yeah, like, were your brother and sister hanging out by themselves at church when they were 8?
Well, when they were that age, we weren't as religious. But had we been religious, I legit believe
Right.
my brother and sister would have been. No, I'm joking.
Would your brother and sister have
No.
gone to a diner by themselves at 8?
No, I don't think they would, because my
Would
parents
they
listen.
have gone to a Chuck E. Cheese?
No, but my parents, okay, when you understand my parents, my parents to
trolling.
this day, my brother and older sister are both in their 40s. My dad to this day, if they're going, so he expects my brother and sister to check in to let them know we've arrived safely at home to this day. So my parents don't use them as a measuring stick. Because my dad would never allow this to happen because he counts everyone, he makes sure. No. So my parents are a different story. So yeah, there are parents that are like that. And then you get parents where it's like they know, like, I don't know everything about their kids and where they are at all times. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility, you know? And can I say something?
Please.
Why is it that yesterday I was not allowed to nitpick? I was being told, oh, it's not real, Simona. It's fantasy,
said
Simona.
that to you?
You're overthinking it, Simona.
said this to
And
you?
you're allowed to do what you're doing right now? Do you think that's
I think
fair?
this is different than the
think
mental
I was
illness
with you.
theory.
I don't think I was
Yeah.
with you on most of it yesterday.
These are fighting
Yeah,
words.
why am I getting shot
shots
at?
have been fired across
Yeah.
the bow.
I'm just saying, I'm not allowed to nitpick and worry about, Spirited Away, like if the star candies have any nutritional value. But you can talk
No
about
one
all
got
this.
mad at that.
Yeah. Lies.
But see that
I
talking
edited
about-
that video.
I wasn't even there for that. Why are you taking shots at me?
because
I'm just
Simona,
saying it's not.
this is an animated movie. This is not. Those were animated movies and based solely in
Fine.
fiction. This is a live action movie, and yes, this could potentially happen.
Okay, fine. Proceed. I feel hurt, but proceed.
I don't understand though.
So
why.
can
I'm
I?
very
So here's. I have an
accomplished.
observation to make.
Yeah.
I mean, Home Alone is a mid-budget movie. Same with, I feel like maybe back in the day, the original Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Lower to mid-budget movie. What is it about those two movies? And you look at the most recent versions that are sequels. Like there's that newest Home Alone that
Yeah.
came out that Buzz is like a cop in it.
Oh,
Oh
really?
yeah.
Yeah.
And like you have the Christmas story. What's changed that makes these new movies so ugly?
Well, I mean, frankly, I think it's just one. Okay.
It's a cash cow.
Yeah. Okay. One is just film looks better than digital. That's.
I think I'm gonna have to finally agree. I'm
like-
seeing the difference.
I love digital. I think that it can reach totally new levels.
If you're David Fincher.
But like, I think like.
Although your
The-
favorite DP completely disagrees. He says it really doesn't matter.
Who's
Get
that?
the shot. The one who did Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, Deakins. Deakins
He's like-
isn't my favorite, but
Oh.
I love Deakins.
Your
Deakins
favorite.
is great.
His
Oh my
favorite.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't
My
matter.
favorite.
Oh,
He's like, just get
but
the lamp
here's
in the
thing.
shot.
Deakins knows what to do.
Yeah, that's true.
The general bar for what you had to do to shoot on film was higher than what you have to do to shoot on digital, and we've seen like the art of lighting's been lost. Okay, that's gone more or less. It's a shame because everything now is just muddy and because you don't.
It's like
need
it's like
very-
if you throw enough money at it, somehow it's going to be a better product than what was initially put.
But yeah.
What was initially
I don't-
made.
And
even
to
disagree with.
Yeah, these are just branding exercises at this
But
point.
watching how hideous that recent Home Alone looks, it just looks flat, colorless, like and the original. And it's not like I don't even feel like I'm looking back at it nostalgically.
No,
it's an
like-
objective look. Everything is warm and full and has depth.
I think
and
it
like,
also depends upon who
Again,
directed it, though,
it-
too. Because Chris Columbus directed the original Home Alone, and I think also he directed the sequel, Lost in New York.
Yeah, but Chris Columbus is not like, he's a good director. He is not like known,
No.
but like, yeah.
No, but I mean, like, my point is that it's not the same director who put time and energy, love into the project that he so heartedly
Yeah, but-
believed in.
I think a lot of it just comes down to crews and just
Yeah.
how generally,
I feel really warm.
the art is
My
trending.
feet are really
Yeah.
itchy.
yeah. And two, those are both like direct to streaming movies. They're made to be disposable. They're made to just be like, all right, we'll pump this out, get some subscribers, and it's in the bin.
But that's when I was rewatching Home Alone. I was like, this does feel a little bit. I see older camera movement, bigger camera rigs or whatever. It's understandable, but it doesn't look bad.
No.
And just how the set design, the production, whether it's real or fake snow, it looked convincing. Like I was just very much.
I miss real fake snow so much.
What's the
remember-
difference between, because I'm coming at this where I have what's
So-
the difference between real fake snow and now the fake snow that's just too
So
fake?
fake snow now is usually just CG.
Oh, they don't even. Oh.
Yeah.
If you watch.
Is it because I'm sorry? Is it too expensive to do fake snow the way
Probably
they
just
used
easier to
to?
manage.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Ben.
No, I'm just answering the question. And when it's badly done, it's offensively bad. There's this season of a new series of All Creatures Great and Small, which is a British series that was very famous way back. And they do a Christmas episode, but they clearly film it in July, and they just digital fake snow off in the distance, but everything else is robustly green, and it looks terrible. It looks really bad.
Yeah. But yeah, best real fake snow movie, Batman Returns.
Yes.
Agreed. Yeah.
Best
Yes.
real fake snow scene is the ending scene in It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes. Yeah.
Best real snow scene.
Baller.
House of Flying Daggers by Zhao Yimou. The end battle is a sword fight between the two jealous lovers of Zhang Yi,
And it was actually snowing.
and they start shooting it, and they're shooting it, and having this battle in a field. And, it's supposed to be somewhere in China, but I think it was shot in Romania or Bulgaria or something like that. And this battle's going on. They're perfecting it, and it starts snowing. And so Zhao Yimou is like, all right, well, we're just going to keep going. And they just fought, and eventually he just melded it in. And you watch them fight, and they film technique it so with a little bit of digital. But they're fighting, and the whole area turns from fall to, snow-covered land in the middle of a one-take fight. It's pretty cool. Anyway,
I've seen
Real
that.
Snow.
I saw that movie. It's been years since I've seen that movie. I have to see that.
2004 it came out.
Yeah, I have
think,
to
around
see
here.
that movie again.
Oh, Kill Bill has good
I
fake
was
snow.
just thinking about that one. Yeah.
Yes.
I was like,
Who-
that's a good scene.
I have a question. Who else was on the verge of tears when Kevin saw Marley reunite with his granddaughter and his
Beautiful
son?
scene.
Oh
It
my
is.
God. I've seen that movie so many times that scene always makes me on the verge
Yeah,
of tears.
I also think it's one of those scenes that, as a kid, you're watching it and you're like, oh, but as a grown up, you're
Yeah.
like a wreck.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna get more emotional for you as you get older, as time keeps
Yeah.
running away from you, and you realize you're out of time and there's nothing left, and you've lost all your chances. Just kidding.
That'll never happen, Ben. It's never gonna happen. We are all going places. We go at our own pace, but you're getting there.
Yeah.
Remember
Oh, yeah.
that. It's not how fast you go. It's your dedication to getting to your destination.
So,
That's right.
I've got a question inspired by a tweet I saw earlier this week.
Oh boy.
In this first movie, they're all drinking Pepsi, but in the second movie, they're all drinking Coke.
Interesting.
What do we think changed?
The sponsor.
Yeah, but
They finally realized that Coke is better than Pepsi.
Coke is not better than Pepsi. Pepsi is better than Coke.
Coke is better than Pepsi.
You see that amazing Vine with that kid that's like, Pepsi, Coke, I don't give a damn. And he pours them both into a cup and starts drinking. It's like 6 years old.
amazing.
It's a riot.
Have you seen that video of that little German boy and his mom lets him play Fortnite and drink Coke and he's so excited and he goes, Fortnite und Cola! Yippee!
Oh my God.
I also lean on the Coke side.
Cause and I can say that having tasted both worlds, I have tasted Pepsi, I've tasted Coke, and I've just come to the realization, which I'm
So
sorry that you
you've
two have
had
not.
Coke and you
Things-
like Coke more.
Yes.
That should just be the tagline for the episode. Simona has had Coke and she likes Coke.
I've had
I-
both. It's just Coke is better.
I like both. I'm really non-partisan on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if
I
someone
think
gives me a
have-
Pepsi,
Sometimes they go better with different things, is the thing.
If I have a choice, I'm always going Pepsi.
Though the flavored Pepsis, nowhere near as good as the flavored Cokes. They got them
No.
beat there.
cherry Coke
I disagree.
is top notch.
I'm sorry,
Vanilla
but
Coke
I
is,
disagree.
is one of the best sodas ever made.
I've never had the flavored Cokes.
No?
They are good.
I love that now when you go to
But
a
I
movie
disagree.
theater, you can choose every version of Coke that ever existed. Did we were just talking about that? Did I just
Okay.
was I just redundant?
I like the Coke freestyles.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as good as the actual like vanilla Coke
From the can.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
So, Home Alone, the brilliance and the absolute like gleeful holiday joy of when he sets up that set of cardboard dummies in front of the windows.
Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
yes.
And the
Michael
mannequins.
Jordan.
Like
Yeah.
that felt for years. I was 10 when I saw this movie, so that song, which I can't stand now because you can't get away from it on the
Yeah.
radio, but sent me to like Christmas glee, like throughout years of my like early teens. It was just so
See,
nicely
now,
done.
You talk about that song that sent you to Glee. When I watched the movie and they're running through the airport and Run Run Rudolph comes on, that's when I know the holidays have started. Chuck Berry. You can't go wrong with a classic.
It's true. It's true. Didn't Elvis basically most of his music is from Chuck Berry? Did they cover that in the new movie? I haven't seen it yet. to
The
tell.
new movie really emphasizes a lot of like where he's sort of getting the music from, and like, I mean, Elvis in real life is pretty open about the fact his stuff was covers.
That Home Alone house is just
It's killer, man.
it really.
It's beautiful.
It's not the only movie. Like they used that movie in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, right? Was
Yeah,
that the
they
same
do.
house?
Yeah, that's the same house.
It's a
It's
huge
a
house.
beautiful house.
And there's people that like live there. Like it's natural.
I'm a
house.
great, favorite scene actually. Well, second to the home invasion is the gangster movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Which was made up
Hysterical.
for the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always believed it was a real movie. It wasn't until doing a little homework on it last night that I learned.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
And what was the name of it? It's like a pretty
Angels.
raunchy name.
It's called
Angels with Dirty Faces.
No,
No, that's the real
Angels.
movie. Yeah.
Angels with Dirty Angels with Dirty Souls or something
Oh,
like
I
that.
thought it was like something.
Angels with Dirty Faces is a great movie.
Is that a Cagney movie?
Yeah, it's Cagney.
uh-huh.
For some reason, the Bowery Boys are there. Or no, maybe it's not. It's the Dead End Kids or whatever.
Is that the one where he's in jail?
Yeah.
And at the end he pretends to be scared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He and then he fries, and then the newspaper the next day makes fun of him for crying on death row. It's so funny.
And it turns the kids around, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. And he smiles towards the camera as he's walking because he knows what he's going to do. That's, killer
Cagney's
movie.
so cool.
Cagney's come up twice in this last week because of Agent Cooper, huh?
The saddest part of the movie. It's going to take me a second to bring up the nerves to talk about.
When he rearranges the pillows, be like his mom and dad when he's sleeping on the bed.
No,
Oh.
it's weird. When he doesn't get to eat the mac and cheese. Because that mac and cheese looked good.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It did look really good.
Yeah. I was like, he definitely could have just scarfed that down real
That
quick.
always bothers me in movies. I know what you're talking about, where it's like, just take one bite. Just
Yeah.
make it worth it. And they leave everything oh my God.
And the glass of milk that was there.
That's
Oh,
not going to be good when he
Here's a
gets
question
back.
for you. If you were settling down for the night, you had your bowl of mac and cheese, your glass of milk, or however you do, and someone's breaking into your home, would you put the plate down and settle that, or first take a bite and then go see?
I'm definitely taking
I'm
a
definitely
bite.
taking a bite.
Definitely taking a bite before I go to the door to see what's going on. Yeah.
I think going back to my favorite scene and probably the saddest scene, it was a moment of a scene. It was towards the end, after everything was solved, where he accepted that his family was never coming back.
Oh, yeah.
And just was deciding that this was going to be his life. And it was this quiet moment, and then they show up and he was fine. But that was just kind of very strong.
Well, because he truly believed that he made his family disappear.
Yeah. And
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite scenes is when he goes to see Santa Claus, but he knows that the Santa Claus that he's seeing isn't the actual Santa Claus, but that he tells him that he knows that you work for it, that he works for the real one.
giving that Santa Claus an existential crisis.
Again,
that's
another
Santa rule.
adult that does not do what they should do. This kid is literally coming up to you, telling you that his family has disappeared. He's alone on Christmas, and you give him a couple of Tic Tacs. I'm sorry.
He should maybe contact the authorities
Yes.
about that one.
But then the authorities, do we forget that the authorities were called and did
Yeah.
a piss poor job of their assignment?
And again,
Yes.
more adults that did not act.
So this is actually a
appropriately.
commentary on the failure of adults in
It
this
is
kid's life.
100%.
Was it really the authorities' fault though? Because Kevin was convinced that the
Old man
authority
Marley was trying to get into the house, and it wasn't the actual cop.
I thought he was convinced that he knew that the cop was the guy who was trying to break
Yeah.
it. Joe Pesci.
No, I
Okay.
always thought that because before that scene even happens, he goes outside and yells, "I'm not afraid anymore," and then Old Man Marley pulls up, up in front of him, and because of the story that Buzz told him, and I guess his cousin, he screams, runs into the room, and runs into the house, up into the bedroom, and hides underneath the covers. And when the cop comes there, he's not even knocking gently on the door. He's pounding on the door, and Kevin's still hiding in the bed.
Is his last name really Marley?
Yeah, he's called Old Man Marley.
Oh, is there significance there?
I don't think so.
Christmas movie. Jacob
No?
Marley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
yeah, there has to be. They're just gonna call somebody named Marley in a Christmas movie and not have it be a
Marley
reference.
and Marley.
Yeah. Marley and Marley. Woo! Good movie. Talk about Oscar bait.
Oh God. I can't do it.
He broke Ben.
I had a thought, and then I saw Ben break. And it just exited my mind completely.
Thanks, Ben.
Another scene. He goes to the grocery store, buys the stuff. The
Cashier.
cashier asks him questions, right? But one of the questions she asks is, where are your brothers and sisters? It seems like she knew him and knew the family, and then it was almost like she didn't. And again, adults not recognizing signs.
But I think it's also, I think
trouble.
it's, there are, like, I knew kids, I feel like I'm, like, the one, well, like, I knew kids that would go out, like, would be sent to, like, the mart or, like, the bodega and would pick up something. They weren't going with any adults. So I think it really depends. Like, I knew kids that were pretty much
So why is she
on
asking
their,
those questions?
well, I think it's because maybe it's like she feels it's her duty. And I think the whole brother and sister thing is just like a fishing technique. Like, most kids would, she's going with the assumption will have a sibling of, to wonder, whatever. Like, they'll have a sibling, you know. I think she was just trying to do her job, but, like, she saw that
it's
he...
not really a cashier's job to do that.
No, I understand, but I think it's like she saw this kid alone, but he didn't seem to be in any distress. And like I said, there are kids that their parents will say, okay, like I'll talk from experience, like my dad, when he was in Sicily, his father said, okay, go over here and pick me up something. So my dad went, no one said, where are your father? Where's your mother? Where are your siblings? I think depending on the time and the place, certain things would have been, okay, fine, you know, they're coming to pick something up. I think maybe had she seen that he's in some kind of distress, maybe she would have taken more action, but he's very calm. He's not buying anything that would lead her to believe, okay, fine, he's like, you see it, I don't know. I think that's probably why. You know, maybe initially she said, okay, something isn't right, but he was able to answer each of her questions. Maybe that's why. Or it could just simply be the adults are crap in this film, and that's the whole point of the movie.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
So
You
that's
want
what
to talk
it is.
about another sad scene is when the plastic bags break on Kevin as he's walking home from the grocery
Oh,
store.
that's such a
Yeah.
I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
That's why you double bag.
You know,
Soft.
Fair.
I remembered what I was thinking of. So there is an astounding Siskel and Ebert segment on Home Alone 3
Oh God.
where Ebert comes in and he is saying that Home Alone 3 is by far the best movie in the series. That the first two were bad films.
What?
And that 3 is good because 3 empowers children. And he's making this totally demented case for
I
it.
don't even remember 3.
And,
It's all right, you don't need to know.
and Siskel is just baffled by it.
Well, how does it empower children? Because I don't think I've ever seen 3.
I think there's just more slapstick in it. Like I think that
3 was a
that's all he's
direct
talking
to video.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
1998. Like everyone was looking at it. I worked at a video store in Carmel called Video Forum, and it came in, and everyone was like, "What is this?" And I was-
Not Roger Ebert. He loved it, and he was like, the kid in this one, he's better than Macaulay Culkin.
What?
And Gene Siskel is breaking. He's just like, Roger, what are you talking about? And because earlier in the episode, I guess Gene liked Starship Troopers and Ebert didn't, so then they start arguing about that again. So I don't even know if Ebert's genuine with this opinion or not.
He was just mad at. I feel like time has proven Siskel correct on this one.
Yes.
I think Siskel was correct from the jump. I don't think we really needed time on that.
Well, why do you like? Here's the question, like, because my older sister loves this movie. Every Christmas, as I've spoken to Katie about this, my sister Vita puts this film on. She loves this film. It's one of her
Classic.
favorite films. Why do you think it has sort of stood the test of time and has become like the Christmas class, or maybe not the Christmas classic, but
one
a
of many Christmas classics.
I
Yeah.
think it does a good job of balancing comedy with a solid thread of drama. There's a really good 2 or 3 redemption arcs.
Yeah.
Everyone's a better person by the end of the movie, and I think the addition of John Candy and Catherine O'Hara together created this kind of special alchemy
Yeah.
that has made the movie just something extra when they're playing in the back of the truck. and-
Yeah.
Hey,
And I mean, it's a movie that has withstand the test of time. There's nothing that's really dated about it either.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's aged very well as time's gone on
Yeah.
since it was made.
I also think it came out at a time when VHS was big too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that probably helped contribute to it because they're really,
Who misses VHS?
I mean,
Just sometimes.
I miss the amount of movies that from VHS that don't exist today.
Yeah. Sometimes I think the aesthetic of it's cool, but
Yeah.
I like
Aw.
stuff shot on VHS.
You don't
But-
like the whole thing about
don't
having
have
to
to
rewind,
rewind.
figuring out where you left off in the movie.
I mean, when I was
You
a
people.
kid, that just frustrated me.
It kind of reminds me of cassette tapes when you would stick the pen in to like put the tape back.
I didn't grow up with cassette
There's a nice
tapes.
touch in Stranger Things season
Yeah.
4, where Steve used his sleuthing abilities to
Yeah.
let her know that the girl was into chicks because of where the Fast Times was stopped on the videotape.
It's like boobies. Everyone likes boobies.
But no, I don't miss VHS tapes.
But yeah,
okay.
so I think
Just
just,
me then.
like it was a current Christmas movie at that time too. So like
Yeah.
kids are going to be drawn to it, and it came out at a time when like most people already had the technology. So
Yeah.
And I mean, to be perfectly honest, too, it has a strong sequel.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
When Lost in New York as well.
Agreed.
Had a big hit of a sequel. That's for sure. I feel like
Ooh, are we
it's a strong
counterpointing?
sequel in the equivalent way that Lost World is a strong sequel to Jurassic Park. Same pedigree, same director, rushed script, and playing the hits a little too much without giving the hits time to be really huge hits. If that makes any sense.
Sure,
But
but
had some funny moments.
I mean, I would take that sequel than the sequels that have followed after that
You are correct there.
over, so
Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. It's much better in that regard.
yeah.
But it's not like Aliens to Alien.
Well, they're two completely different movies as well.
Right.
I'm
I know they're different movies, but they're two of movies that exist in the same universe.
Wait,
as the
I
first-
thought Sigourney Weaver was in Home Alone 2.
I don't think she is.
she's not.
He's being funny.
Yeah.
He wanted to stop this battle.
Royale. I think Home Alone 2 is entertaining.
How many times you watched it?
6,
How many times you watched the first one?
12.
Twice as good as the second one.
Well,
Well, I
I
mean-
think also the second one it's like with the thing with sequels, which is why I kind of wish they'd stop doing this thing, or like these whole reboots. Everyone's on the reboot train because there's no originality anymore. It's like, stop. I think you're trying to sort of bank on what made the first one go. I mean, the second one isn't bad, but I haven't seen it nearly as many times as I've seen the first one, and will continue. I mean, as probably a sequel, I've never seen the third. So as far
You
as
don't need
sequels,
to.
yeah, as far as
You
sequels
really
go,
don't need to.
I think the second one in terms of would be good, but it's like sometimes I
What
think just
makes-
stop.
But I mean, what makes the sequel work, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
do this last point, is that you have recurring characters. People
Yeah.
that did the first movie came back for the second movie.
Yeah.
And that's what made it work, at least in my opinion. But then you get the third movie, and no one from the original two
It's
came
like the
back
Mummy.
to do it.
Like I've seen the Mummy Returns.
Ben's
I've
favorite
never.
movie.
Well, now it is because we convinced him to watch it.
I liked it.
But
I convinced
the
him to
third,
watch it.
That's true.
Katie convinced Ben. She was determined.
I was.
I've never
determined.
seen the third one, and frankly, Rachel Weisz didn't even return. I think to do the
I
third
only
one.
found out about
didn't.
that. It's so funny you bring that up.
Yeah.
I literally only learned that today.
Yeah, she's not
Really?
even in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Because
it's-
I didn't even know there was a third Mummy.
It's Maria Bello. It's the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, and it's actually pretty good too.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never seen
I mean,
it.
I
You and
saw
me,
it.
We've always been in cahoots.
I'm gonna be
I
honest,
saw it
I-
as well,
I-
and I love it strictly for the fact of the adventure story and
Yeah.
the fact I get to see Jet Li and Michelle Wu.
Yo.
Yao.
Yo.
Thank you.
Yo, sorry.
Yo. Thank you for that correction, Joe.
In the third Mummy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're both in that mummy.
She plays the one that curses the Emperor
their
King,
emperor. And then they have an epic fight at the end.
which I love it. I was watching this.
Maybe we should watch the third Mummy. This sounds good.
It is. It's really good.
Yeah.
The story lets a lot to be desired, but just the overall action and adventure and just
He
the-
turns to mud. She legit curses the king, and he starts talking, and mud is spilling out of his
Yeah.
mouth, and then he legit becomes mud. I don't know what anyone else would think about the CGI, but I was watching that scene. As far as curses go, like if you want to curse a guy who screwed you over,
Oh, he did more than screw her over.
that is awesome.
I can see Home Alone really inspired us.
Home Alone inspires
We're all
me
like,
to keep it real.
yeah, good movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that scene. Yeah, nice snow. Pizza.
Look, we love Home Alone.
We do. It's a classic.
Nothing really to debate.
It's,
We're all like,
it's pretty straightforward. You know, we love it.
Yeah,
this is
but-
good ice cream.
Yeah, because I think it's one of those movies where, like, I don't know how much of a debate you could really have about the film. Like, I
Right.
don't think anyone thinks it's, like, brilliant cinema. It's, like, a feel-good time. It's not like Braveheart. Like, we can
Ooh,
debate
Simone jumping
Braveheart.
in on the Braveheart.
The producer of Home Alone talked to one of my college classes once.
Oh, yeah?
John
Yeah,
Hughes?
nice guy. What?
John Hughes?
No, not John Hughes. He's one of Chris
Right.
Columbus's guys. He produced the first couple Harry Potters.
You know
too.
how to hurt me.
Well, this was a lovely chat about Home Alone. I want to say that the Christmas movie / TV program I'll be watching this year for Christmas is I'll be rewatching Hawkeye because it's entirely a New York Christmas thing. And I'm going to rewatch the Christmas episode of the second season of Ted Lasso. That's going to be my Christmas time. And I'm going to watch Tron Legacy, but only the parts where he's, in Tron World.
Nice. They had a little reunion, the actors. They all got together very recently.
I want to watch that.
Yeah.
I want to find that. And Garrett Hedlund's like, dude, can you believe the lines they made me say on camera? Terrible script.
I've never seen it.
No.
You want to take us out, Lou?
Yes. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays. Godspeed. And follow your dreams. See ya.